Float like Karoma, sting like Traore, but don't forget about EJ Anosike. Highlanders and the Runners, but it's UCR on the road. The Eaters in Hawaii can Velp shoulder the load. Titans back in action, Bows on the mend, but don't worry about a thing, 'cause we're all still friends. It's the champ's birthday Monday. He's the best of the best. So rumble, young men, rumble, because this is the Big West. The champs are here. The champs are here. The defending Big West champion UC Santa Barbara Gauchos in the city they call Long Beach to take on Long Beach State. Tight first half, A.J. Mitchell with 3 of his 15 to break a 24-24 tie for the Gauchos. Ajari Sani with 1 of his 4 steals makes it an 8-point lead for UC Santa Barbara, which was the margin headed to the half. Second half action, more Gaucho defense. Like James Conn before him, Miles Norris is a thief. He jams that one home to put Santa Barbara up by a dozen. Head coach Dan Munson rallies the Beach. Let's tighten it up on D, guys. They do just that, and they trim the lead down from 12 to 3. And then Jadon Jones delivers with this 3 to tie the game at 52 at about the 8-minute mark of regulation. Back at fourth it goes again as A.J. Mitchell puts Santa Barbara back in front with this left wing 2. But right back the other way, West Texas A&M transfer Joel Murray answers for the Beach with his own mid-range jumper. Yeah, Joel, go ahead and give yourself a hand. Beach still up by 1. Colin Slater to the bucket. He can't finish, but Abubakar Traore certainly can. A career-high 17 for the freshman, including 13 in the second half. Beach up by 3. The Gauchos got no closer. It just wasn't their night as the Beach closed out the victory. Heading south to Orange County at CSUN and Cal State Fullerton at historic Titan Gymnasium. EJ Anosike gets off to the quick start with the and 1 out of the chute. The Titans playing without starters Trey Maddox Jr. and Torrey San Antonio. 2 more for Anosike of his career-high 33 in the first half for Fullerton. Dante Maddox Jr. also stepped up with a double-double, hits the 3 out of the corner. Titans are up by 10. Matadors hang tough, though. Here's Marcel Stevens with the steal and score. Miles James off the inbound play for CSUN keeps the Titans lead at 4. James had a season-high 14 for CSUN time and time again. Anosike there for the Titans. Here's the jam, and he gets some help from Dante Maddox with this 3 out of the corner. Titans lead by 5 at the half. Second half, Matadors start to push back. Watch this great hustle play by Elijah Hardy. Keeps the ball alive and then hits the shot. The Matadors actually had the lead early in the second half, 43-42. Anosike, though, answers for Fullerton, this time going outside with the 3 from straight away. Damari Milstead with the steal and the score for the Titans. He had 10 points and 4 steals in a battle of Oakland point guards. Here's one of Milstead's 4 assists to guess who? You got it, EJ Anosike. The Titans win this one 79-64. Next stop, the Central Coast. Cal Poly and UC Riverside. Alimami Karoma comes out swinging to his left. And then off the pick and roll action to the right. But the Highlanders play their pace. Here comes Dom Pickett. passes up the three, and takes it to the bucket. He had 10 on the evening. Flynn Cameron to his right for the three. How bizarre, how bizarre. He had 12 on the night. Highlanders up 10 at the break. John Smith gets the Mustangs together. Their first home game since November 12th. Let's get this going, fellas. Karoma with the left for 2 of his 15. Next, it's Kobe Sanders' turn. First live action for Sanders since December 17th. Cameron Pierce to the tin for the Mustangs. Inland Empire kid playing against the Highlanders. It's a tie game and he's fired up. Tuukka Jakola, greetings from Helsinki. And just like that, the Mustangs take the lead. The Mustangs riding high. Could there be some Mott magic happening on this evening? It's clutch time, so the Highlanders go to their old reliable Dom Pickett. He gets the three to give them some breathing room. And then Zion Pullen with the pull-up for 2 of his team-high 13 as the Highlanders lock down on defense to bring home the 57-46 win. After a Tuesday cancellation against UC San Diego, the Anteaters of UC Irvine head to Honolulu to take on the Bows. Colin Welp's 30 points against Riverside, enough to get him Big West Player of the Week honors. Here's Jerome Derossier, the transfer from Quebec, by way of Princeton. He gets things going with this three. He had 13 points on the night. Watch this dish from Noel Coleman to Bernardo de la Silva, pushing Hawaii's lead to double digits. But have no fear, Irvine faithful. That's why Colin Velp made the trip. The jumper pulls UC Irvine to within 5 points. Moments later, a nice up and under move by Velp for the bucket keeps Hawaii's lead at a manageable 6 points. Velp had 11 on the night to lead the Eaters. Here we go, end of the first half. Jerome Derossier, he gets Velp up in the air, cans the short jumper in the lane. It's the Bows going to the locker room with an 8-point advantage. Second half action, Noel Coleman connects on 2 of his 16, the lead back to double digits for the Bows. The Eaters weren't feeling that Ohana spirit, particularly from a Bows defense that held them to 32% shooting for the game and just 28% in the second half, where they shot 7 of 28. The Bows offense was very much in tune for the matchup with Irvine as well. Here's Coleman again. This three will push the lead to 21, and the Hawaii bench starting to feel it. Here, Coleman gets loose for another three-pointer, his 4th in 7 attempts, as the team shot 11 for 25 from bonus distance. About the only thing that didn't go right for Hawaii was Bernardo de Silva getting this technical after a dunk. The Brazilian tallied a double-double with 16 points and 12 rebounds for the Bows. It was all smiles on the Bows bench after the 72-56 win for Hawaii. Not so much for UC Irvine head coach Russell Turner. The home crowd went home happy as Hawaii improved to 2-0 in the conference standings. Mahalo indeed. We'll stay on Honolulu as we move to Saturday's games, the Bows taking on the Tritons of UC San Diego. Jerome Derossier picked up right where he left off against UC Irvine. A 3 gives the early lead to the Bows over the Tritons. The Hawaii defense was also up to the task against one-time Player of the Week Tony Roszak for UC San Diego. He did manage 20 points on the game, but it took him 18 shots to be able to do it. The Bows limited the Tritons to 8 of 26 from the floor in the first half. Jerome Derossier gives the Bows a 19-point lead with this 3 as he recorded his 2nd straight double-double. And Junior Madut got into the act as well. He pushes the Hawaii lead to 21 with this 3-point bucket. Madut had 15 on the night and shot 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Here Madut takes a spill going to the bucket, but the and one is always worth a little rough and tumble, isn't it? Derossier finishes it off with 18 and 13 as the Bows shot 56% for the game, outscoring the Tritons 79-56. A pretty good weekend at the office for Hawaii head coach Eran Ganot. Intriguing matchup on the blue court at Accardo Center between longtime sideline guru Rod Barnes for the Runners and the new kid on the block Mike McPio for the Highlanders. Early going, David Walker from Toronto by way of South Alabama hits the mid-range to put the Runners up 6. Other side, Dom Pickett finds Callum McRae for 2 of his 14, and you get the idea this could be a game of inches. Justin Edler-Davis tries to do something about that for CSUB, 3 of his 12 from the corner. Zion Pullen with the runner for UCR, 2 of his 17. End of the first half, court-length dash and runner from Dom Pickett for UC Riverside, and Andy Cohn says it counts. Highlanders down 1. Pickett finds McRae. UCR leads. McRae with a double-double on the night. Callum returns the favor as Pickett hits the 3. Highlanders now up 6. 43 seconds to play. Edler-Davis with the straightaway 3. Oh, captain, my captain. 20 seconds later, off the inbound play, Edler-Davis again, and the Runners have the lead. A screen and a spill, but the foul on Edler-Davis. Justin has no words. There's no one you'd rather have at the line than old Dom Pickett. He hits them both, and UCR leads. One last shot for the Runners, but Caleb Higgins' jumper is offline. Heartbreak on Stockdale Highway. Back to Mott Athletic Center for Cal Poly and UC Davis. And the Mustangs charge out of the gate. Ali Karoma gets the basket. Cal Poly leads 8-0. What's this? Karoma with the 3. Maybe some rope-a-dope strategy from Alamami. Cal Poly up 13. But here come the Aggies. Christian Anigwe inside for 2 of his 20 on the evening. The 3's not there for Elijah Pepper, so he'll just go mid-range. Pepper finished with 16. Something happening for the young Mustangs, though. Cameron Pierce with the tray. He had 15. His team's up 9. Cal Poly also pumped up the defense. Watch Brantley Stevenson go high for the steal. The Mustangs up 14. Anigwe, fighting hard for the tip, keeps his team within striking distance. But Kyle Colvin lines up the 3, and the Mustangs lead by 10 at the half. But will the young ponies have enough left for the second 20-minute installment? Christian Anigwe gives the Aggies some second-half energy with the jam. UC Davis head coach Jim Les, great with halftime adjustments. He puts the ball in his point guard's hands, Magnon to the tin, and no one on Cal Poly was better than Ezra on that play. Magnon again. This time he finds the Englishman, Caleb Fuller, for the 3. We are all tied at 52. Cal Poly needs a lift, so watch this sequence. Where else would they look but to Alamami Karoma? Blocks against Fuller and Anigwe, tips the rebound to Pierce, runs the floor, and when Pierce can't finish, slides in for the putback to give Cal Poly a 5-point lead. Rumble, young man, rumble. Karoma can even step out and hit the 3. He had 21 on the game. Cameron Pierce with one of his 8 assists here to Tuka Yakala, and the Mustangs are up 9. Kane Milling with 12 for UC Davis, 6 coming on these 2 late 3s to keep it a 2-possession game into the final minute. The Mustangs hit 14 of 15 free throws down the stretch, including 3 of 4 by Brantley Stevenson to activate the Mott Magic and knock off UC Davis 82-74. Back to the Walter Pyramid as Long Beach State hosts CSUN, hoping to make it a weekend home sweep. The Beach off to a good start. Joel Murray hits the 3 from the top of the circle. Jaden Jones from the left corner inside the arc as the Beach offense starts to pick up a little momentum. But Atten Wright cans the 3 to stem the tide for CSUN. The Matadors then start to go inside. Here's Fidelis Okereke making a nice move to the cylinder. He draws the Matadors to within 2. Onye Aisi loses the handle, but he stays with it. He's able to make the bucket and tie the game for CSUN. Colin Slater pulls up from the baseline, and we're even at 20. The Matadors hanging in the first half. Brendan Herrick with the 3 and even gets fouled. Atten Wright uses his body to clear some space and sinks the jumper from the top of the key. The Beach go to the locker room with a 1-point lead. From the baseline he bounds, and then he jams it down. That's Traore. When he jumps really high and dunks from the sky, that's Traore. Okay, you get the idea. Here's Jadon Jones with the 3-point bucket just left of center for Long Beach, pushing the lead to 10 against the Matadors. Here's Joe Murray with 2 of his 16. Gets the bounce. That's what happens when you're going good, and his team's up by 12. 2 seconds on the shot clock for the inbounds play. No problem. Here's Traore. 7 assists for Colin Slater. 10 points for Traore. Steal on the jam for Jadon Jones. He had 15 on the night. The coup de grace for the Beach, who held CSUN to 36% shooting on the night en route to their 71-55 win. Weekend sweep for the Beach, who are now 2-1 in conference play. 2 of the traditional 4 set to square off at historic Titan Gymnasium. Early going, Miles Norris hits the 3, puts Santa Barbara up by 6. Big game for Cole Anderson. His season high against D1 teams coming in had been 5 points. He hits the 3 here for the Gauchos. Ajari Sani off the flash nails the jumper, making it a 10-point game in favor of UC Santa Barbara. Mr. Anderson, it's like he fell out of the Matrix. Cole Anderson hits the tray. Lead back to 8 for UCSB. Titans defense helped them get back into this one. Good sequence here with the block by Anasicki and then not allowing a decent second shot as the shot clock was winding down. Speaking of Anasicki, here he is taking the ball to the basket coming off his big game Thursday. First half winding down, here's Damari Milstead to the rim. That man has to be extremely happy with his team's fight in the first half. Second half action, Jalen Harris 3 gives Fullerton the lead. Damari Milstead for good measure, 3 of his 21 on the night. Titans now lead by 5. Nearing 12 minutes to go, a 10-point Titan lead. Things get a little heated on a held ball. Law and order being discussed. Amadou Sow heads to the locker room for Santa Barbara. Anasicki with the feed from Reitzel. He had a double-double with 20 points and 11 rebounds. Can't finish here, but Vincent Lee can. Lee himself also a double-double with 12 and 11. Anderson still gunning for the Gauchos. Idahen underneath makes it a 7-point game. And then Anderson with another 3. He had 21 on the night, really shooting well for Santa Barbara. But the Gauchos get no closer, and the Titans now 3-0 in the Big West. That's all for now. See you next week on This is the Big West.